What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and good evening to you. Happy Tuesday. It feels like it's Friday already. This has been a very busy 48 hours since I've last seen you, but certainly praying that you've had a blessed week so far. I'm excited to bring tonight's word to you. You asked me for two bonus daters, and I've got two bonus daters. I'm going to give you one of them tonight, and that is the narcissist. And I cannot wait to get into this lesson. This lesson is going to be powerful. And if you're anything like me, you have probably at some point in your life had to deal with a narcissist on some level, whether it is through dating or relationships, friendships, bosses, co-workers. Narcissists are incredibly difficult people. And I cannot wait to share this with you. So I'm going to dive right into the word. One of the things I promised you Sunday is that I'm going to be a little bit more mindful of the time. Our times together have extended well into 2 hours now, and that was not the case. Life Study, this thing started 3 months ago as 45 minutes, and it has blossomed to 2 hours, and we're going to cut that out. I'm going to try to have you done in 60 minutes tonight, but I'm going to fly through my notes. I can't wait to share with you. So do me a favor. If you are tuned in right now, Instagram, if you're on, welcome to you. I want you to tag 5 people and get them on the line. Facebook, if you are tuned in right now, I need you to do 2 things. I need you to start a watch party, number 1. And then number 2, I need you to tag 5 people and tell them to tune in for our 7-dater series. It's going to be a powerful, powerful series. Married, single, divorced, doesn't matter what you are. Not looking, not interested, doesn't matter. This is going to be a powerful message for you, I promise. If you're on Periscope, welcome to you and good evening to you. I want you on Twitter to share this feed with all of your friends. Tell them to join this feed and join in. This is going to be a powerful session. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. I want to dive right into it. Again, I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but I cannot wait to share tonight's message on the narcissist. Come on, tag 5 people quickly. Tell them to tune in and let's get prepared really to receive a bonus lesson tonight in this 7-dater series. It's going to bless you in a very powerful way. And I'm going to just give you some practical things that I think you ought to look out for you, that you need to think about, that are rooted even in the Word of God. That's going to be powerful. Listen, I'm praying for all of you, certainly praying for those of you that are dealing through difficult times during this COVID season. And those of you that have experienced loss in any type of form or fashion, I'm certainly praying for you and your family. And those of you that are dealing with career or job insecurities or issues, I'm praying that God continues to sustain you in this season, and certainly praying that he will do exactly that. Listen, have you invited 5 people? Come on, you got 15 seconds. I need you to tag 5 people quickly. Tell them to get on the line. This is going to be a powerful series, powerful message tonight. And I simply cannot wait to share it with you. It's going to be powerful. This one isn't rated X, and so this one should be pretty easy tonight on your ears and on your children's ears. But I want you to tag in. Come on, 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds to hit the @ symbol and tag 5 people and tell them to tune in to the Riyadh Christian Center broadcast tonight. It's going to be a powerful message. I cannot wait to share this message on the narcissist. And I promise you, you are going to be blessed in a tremendous way for it. All right, let's get right into it. All right, tonight I'm dealing with the bonus dater, and that is the narcissist. And as I stated earlier, you can apply the principles that we talked about tonight related to the narcissist, not just to romantic relationships and things like that. They can also be connected to friendships, work relationships, whatever types of connections you have with people. You can interact with narcissists on all types of different fronts. But tonight I'm going to really talk and root the conversation in dating narcissists and some things that we ought to think about. So before we get into it, let me just say this to you from the bat. You should never, under any circumstance, I'm getting right into the gate tonight. You should never, under any circumstance, be connected to anybody who always considers themselves before others. At the start of the conversation, let me just tell you from the jump, you should never, under any circumstance, be connected to anybody who always considers themselves before others. Who always. This does not suggest that sometimes you should not put yourself first. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am saying is you should never be connected to anybody who always, and I mean every single time, always puts themselves above everybody else. Because really at the root, and we're going to deal with this later, but at the root of narcissism really is this selfishness that people believe that who they are, what they represent, what they have, what their interests are, what their beliefs are, what their needs are, what their opinions are, should be above everything else. And so under any circumstance, you should never connect in your life to anybody who always considers themselves or puts themselves before others. These people are selfish. These people are inconsiderate. All right. And most of them have little to no sense of self-awareness. If you have known me for any period of time in your life, you have probably heard me talk about self-awareness. And one thing that I'm big on, I harp on my kids about all the time, and that is just being self-aware. It's one thing for you to be ignorant of things. It's another thing for you to be very self-aware about who you are, how you come across, how people perceive you, who you see yourself as being versus who people see you as being. And so self-awareness is a powerful thing. And most people who are selfish, who are inconsiderate, have little to no self-awareness at all, right? They typically don't look at things from a perspective of how others see it. They only look at things from a perspective of how they see it. And these are incredibly dangerous people. Because of this, you have to also understand that this also includes people who expect you to always put them before you. All right. And so you should never be connected to people who always put themselves before you. And then the flip side of that is you should never be connected to people who always expect them, who always expect you to put them before yourself. It works both ways. And I call that I call that passive narcissism. It's one of those situations where people can always expect you to do everything for them. They can always expect you to always bend over backwards for them. They can always expect you to pay the tab for the bill, to pay the tab for dinner, to pay the tab for whatever you do. But they never consider your needs. And they think that if you don't always put them first, then there's something wrong with you. And so I call that passive narcissism. And you've got to be careful with those types of people, because again, at the core of who they are is selfish and inconsiderate, and they have no self-awareness. They literally think that everything revolves around them. I'm here to tell you in this season of your life, you don't need to be connected to anybody who feels like everything evolves around them. You do not need to be connected to anybody who feels like everything evolves around them. You do not need to be connected around these people, because these are people who are exhibiting narcissistic traits, and you've got to be careful with that. And so I'm going to get into this right off the bat. I'm going to give you 5 characteristics of the narcissist. I'm proud of myself. It ain't even 7:20 and I'm already in my 5 characteristics. But before I do, would you do me a favor? If you have not already invited 5 people to church tonight, I want you to invite them. And while you're doing that, I want you to type this in the comments, and this is going to free you before I give you the 5 things. All right. Before I give you the 5 characteristics of the narcissist, I want you to type this in the comments as you're tagging 5 people. I want you to do it right now. Here's what I want you to type. Okay. You ready? This year, I'm putting myself first. This year, I'm putting myself first. Now, you don't need to type this if you always put yourself first. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about you tonight. I ain't talking to those of you who are always looking out for you. You ain't never looking out for nobody else. People can only operate if they operate on your timeline, your plans, your goals. I'm not talking to you tonight. I'm talking to those of us who have historically put everything and everybody else before us. We have historically put everybody else's needs before us. We have historically put everybody else's desires before us. I want to free you tonight. This year, for the remainder of this year, I don't care if you're stuck in the house the rest of the year. I don't care if we are freed, able to get out of the house this year. I'm here to tell you that this year, you got to make a commitment to put yourself first. It ain't selfish when you always putting everybody else first. It's not selfish when you're always thinking about the needs of others first. It's not selfish when you're always thinking about the interests of other people first. And some of us are going to have to flip that script and not allow people and their passive narcissism to get the best of us. Yeah, they'll tell you quick, no, I don't think it's all about me, but they will expect everything you do to be about them. That's passive narcissism. All right. And so this year, you've got to put yourself first for a change. And I promise you, if you do that, God's going to free you. Listen, let me give you 5 characteristics of the narcissist, and I'm done. I'm going to get right into this tonight. 5 characteristics about the narcissist. And again, keep in mind, everything they do is about them. Everything that the narcissist does is about them. All right. So here's characteristic number 1. You ready? Characteristic number 1 of the narcissist is this. They are exaggerators by nature. They are exaggerators. That word has 2 G's in it. They are exaggerators by nature. Narcissists are exaggerators by nature. When you understand that narcissists are exaggerators by nature, you understand that they possess an exaggerated sense of self-importance. And this exaggerated sense of self-importance stretches how they see reality. So they don't see reality for what it is. They only see reality through the lens of this exaggerated sense of self-importance. Because of this, an exaggerator, and this is important, before we go further, let's please understand and be clear. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care how you dice it. I don't care how you carve it. An exaggerator at the core of who they are is a liar. Listen to me. An exaggerator at the core of who they are is a liar. Exaggeration is nothing more than stretching the truth of reality. And anybody who functions comfortably in exaggeration is a liar. Now, this is important because when we think about the narcissist, we have to understand that oftentimes with the narcissist, those lies start with how they see themselves, right? So before they even deal with you, they have already lied to themselves about how they see themselves. And because they have lied to themselves about, this is good to me already, because they have lied to themselves about how they see themselves, then how they view others is warped or wrapped into the lies by which they see themselves. And listen, there is nothing worse than believing your own lies. There is nothing worse than believing your own foolishness. And so at the core of who a narcissist is this idea and this belief that they would rather believe a lie about themselves or an exaggerated or stretched truth about themselves than to embrace who they really are, than to be very honest about who they are. Now, this is good because if we know narcissists to be exaggerators, and we know that exaggerators really at the core, an exaggerator is a liar, because all an exaggerator is doing is stretching out the truth about any type of given situation, then we understand that narcissists will lie about all kinds of things. They'll lie about achievements. They'll lie about what they possess. They'll lie about their talents. They'll lie and put on a facade about their qualities. They'll lie and put on all types of impressions to have you thinking one thing when really it's about something else. This is so critically important, and I don't want to go too psychological on you tonight, but please understand that one of the greatest talents a narcissist has is their ability to lie. Woo! One of the greatest talents of a narcissist is their ability to lie. They'll not only lie to you, but they're good at lying to you because they're great at lying to themselves. And this is so important. They believe they deserve the best of everything, even if they don't offer their best. They believe that they ought to have the best of everything, even if they don't bring the best to the table. They expect the best standards from others when they ain't even bringing great standards to the table themselves. One crazy thing about a narcissist is that a narcissist will believe that they're the best at everything. They'll believe that they're great at everything when really they're not really good at much of anything at all. And especially those things that they think they're the best at. And so you've got to be careful with the narcissist. A narcissist can talk a great game, A narcissist may be able to convince you of a great game, but a narcissist is an exaggerator. Period. Point blank. A narcissist will make you think that they are God's gift and all types of things, when at the core, they really aren't that great at anything. They'll make you and try to convince you that they have everything and that they possess all of these things when they're 45 and at home living in the basement with their mama. This is what narcissists do. They are exaggerators, all right? And so you got to be careful with them. I think before we get into any of this, we got to understand that narcissists are exaggerators. They're liars. They will lie to you because they've lied to themselves, and they will feed you lies to feed a narrative of how you ought to think, a narrative of how you ought to function, a narrative about how you ought to interact with them. All right? Y'all with me? Now, let's get into quality number 2. Characteristic number 2 of a narcissist is this. You ready? Characteristic number 2 is this. You ready? They are incredibly arrogant and conceited. A narcissist. Characteristic number 2. They are incredibly arrogant and conceited. This is about to get good. Narcissist. They are incredibly arrogant and conceited. Watch this. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 12 and 13. Let me give this to you in the NIV. Proverbs chapter 18, verses 12 through 13. Let me give you this in the NIV tonight. Narcissists are incredibly arrogant and conceited. Watch this. Proverbs 18, verse 12 and 13, NIV says this. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Let me tell you something crazy about the narcissist. Narcissists behave in an arrogant and a very haughty or high-minded manner, and oftentimes come across as conceited or boastful or pretentious or high-minded or maybe even saditic. They behave in a very, very arrogant kind of way. They come across in a very high-minded kind of way. They come across in a very conceited way. And this arrogance gives them what I call a false sense of entitlement, right? Because when you think more of yourself than what you really are, then you begin to believe that you are entitled to more than what you really deserve. And this is the plight of the narcissist, because this arrogance gives them a false sense of entitlement. They start to feel like everything is about them. They start to feel like everything should align with the way they want it, all right? And so this is critical. We've got to dive into this word entitlement really quickly tonight. And I want to give you, I want to interrupt the 5 characteristics of the narcissist, and I want to give you 4 ways entitlement influences their behavior. When we're talking about the narcissist, this is so important that I'm interrupting characteristic number 2. I want to give you 4 ways entitlement influences their behavior. This is critically important, because if narcissists are nothing else, they're liars and they feel very entitled. They feel very entitled. And I want to deal with this. There are 4 ways entitlement influences the behavior of the narcissist. You ready? Way number 1, entitlement makes them require constant admiration, attention, or compliments. Entitlement makes them require constant admiration, constant attention, constant compliments. When you got a narcissist on your hands, you not only have a person who feels entitled, you got a person that you got to constantly give attention to. You got a person that you got to constantly compliment. You got a person who gets wrapped up in being admired. Let me tell you something. I don't care if it's a friend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, a coworker. You don't need to be connected to anybody. You got to call 50 times every day. I said it. Anybody, you got to call 50 times a day. Anybody, you have to call 50 times a day, every day. Or anybody who questions your connection with them, or your relationship with them, because you go hours or maybe 1 or 2 days and you don't. This is especially in that friend zone. Those of you that got friends who get mad at you because they ain't heard from you in 24 hours, let me tell you something. You got a narcissist on your hand. I said it. I'm sticking to it. You got a narcissist on your hand. Not only are they entitled, not only do they need attention, not only do they need to be, they need to have you all in their face, they are needy. And narcissists are very needy people. And so entitlement makes them require constant attention, constant admiration, constant compliments. Here's a second way entitlement influences their behavior. Entitlement makes them believe they are better than everybody else. Entitlement makes them feel like they are better than everybody else. A narcissist, again, at the core of who they are, makes them feel like they are better. They feel like they are better than everybody else. And so because of this, they will only adjust to people who they perceive to be on their same level. And some of you have dated narcissists who feel like they're better than everybody else. And you've been wondering why they expect you to change, but they never change. You've been wondering why they have all of these demands about how you ought to change, but they never change. But what they are telling you is they don't feel like you're on the level of who they are. Because a narcissist will never even change or never recommend changes for anybody that they don't feel like are on the same level of who they are. That was a bit much. Did y'all follow what I said? Narcissists ain't gonna change for you because they don't feel like you're on the same level that they are on. Here's the third way entitlement influences their behavior. You ready? Entitlement makes them domineering. They are very domineering in actions or words. Narcissists, through their entitlement, become very domineering in actions and words, which means when you're having conversations with them, they always got to dominate the conversation. They always got to have the first word, the middle word, and the last word. When you have a disagreement with them, it don't matter if they right or wrong, they always got to have the first word, the middle word, and the last word. They expect to be heard. And because they expect to be heard, it makes them poor listeners. And they come across as spoiled brats. I feel like this is too much for y'all tonight. They come across as spoiled brats because they only have to be heard. They only want to be heard. And this is in conversations, disagreements, arguments. It don't matter. You cannot get through to a narcissist because a narcissist is going to have the last say, period. A narcissist ain't going to just let an argument die, even if they wrong. A narcissist is going to have the last say. And these people, because of their entitlement, it makes them domineering in how they talk to you, how they interact with you. They got to be heard. You ready? Here's the fourth way entitlement influences their conversation. Some of y'all need to be tagging some people because this is heavy already. This is really heavy already. Y'all tagging people? I see that number climbing. Y'all tagging? Watch this. Here's the fourth way entitlement impacts the narcissist. You ready? Entitlement makes them willing to take advantage of others to get what they want. Entitlement makes them willing to take advantage of others to get what they want. At any cost, a narcissist is going to make everything about them. At any cost. It don't matter. Doesn't matter what the decision is. Doesn't matter what the dilemma is. A narcissist is willing to do whatever it takes for the outcome to reflect what it is that they want, what it is that they desire. And this is what makes them very arrogant. This is what makes them very conceited. This is what makes them feel like the world ought to revolve around them. And Proverbs 18:12 tells us that before a prideful person falls down, they have a high-minded spirit. I'm here to tell you, some of y'all need to quit trying to fight with narcissists. Some of y'all need to quit trying to be heard from narcissists. And some of you just need to let high-minded people be who they are. Because sooner or later, everything that goes up has to come back down. And I don't mean no harm. And I'm gonna just go ahead and get in trouble real quick. I don't mean no harm. But some of these folks that walk around here arrogant and conceited, especially when it comes to looks, some of y'all need to get your nose out the air and you need to speak to everybody that speak to you. And you can take that for whatever way you want to take it. Some of y'all don't have a right. Oh, it's quiet. Some of us ain't got a right not to speak to nobody. So how dare you? How dare you? How dare you hold your nose up at anybody? You know, I was in the mall Sunday. I had to run to the mall. I need to run an errand to the mall. I'm gonna just share this story quickly, and I gotta hurry because I'm gonna stay true to my time limits. I was running an errand in the mall, and I was looking for something that I'd been looking for, and somebody told me to try a place. So I got there, and when I got there, I was in the jewelry store, just chilling. I just had on a t-shirt, some ripped up jeans, some loafers. I looked like a straight bum, like chilling, and had my mask on, and I'm in the store. And when I was in there, this young lady, she was behind the mask. So I don't really know what her face looked like. I don't really care, but she was behind the mask. And when I came in, I went to the cases because I was looking for the section for the items of what I was looking for. So I wasn't looking for an associate. I was looking for the cases, and I was looking to see where things were, trying to get to what I needed. I wasn't thinking about nobody else. I'm kind of one of those people when I shop, if I know what I want, I get right to that section. I try to get to it. Then if I need your help, then, come help me. If I look confused, don't let me walk around looking confused. And that's what happened, because I was walking around and I didn't see the section that had what I was looking for. So I was kind of sort of looking confused. And sis that was behind the mask, that was behind the counter, I know she saw me looking confused. But for some reason, you ever got the impression that somebody thought maybe you was peeping them, or you was peeping them out, or checking them out, or sweating them? And this is especially to you folks who take these social media likes to heart. I put it on my 5 things I learned Monday, and I meant it. Some of y'all need to quit counting your likes, because some of y'all letting these likes go to your head. I'm here to tell you, everybody that like your picture don't think you cute. Everybody that loves your picture don't think you cute. Okay, and it's very narcissistic and very conceited and arrogant to think that because people compliment you, they want you. Everybody that compliments you don't want you. You want to put that in the comments tonight? Everybody that gives you a compliment don't want you. Everybody that likes your photo ain't trying to holler at you. People that compliment your pictures of your kids ain't trying to be your baby's daddy. Some of y'all need to pump the brakes. And so sis was clearly on this tip. I don't know why, because I ain't even look at her one time. I came right on in, was looking at the cases, but then I looked up because, I've been walking around for like 3 minutes and nobody said, "Hey, sir, you need help?" So I stopped and I'm looking around and I happen to see her. So I'm just staring at her, just looking at her like, "You want to come over here and help me?" And she's looking off and huffing and puffing, looking up. First of all, lady, you ought to be glad I looked at you. That's number one. And y'all can take this comment any kind of way you want to take it. But in this COVID season, that mask did you a favor. And I'm not playing. I'm being just 100 here. You ain't got to like how I'm putting this, but the mask actually helped you out. The mask did you a favor. So that's number one, first and foremost. Be glad I looked that way. That's number one. Number two, I'm looking at you because I clearly need some help. But that behavior reminded me of how narcissists function. They are so arrogant and so conceited that they think that everything evolves around them. They think that everything is about them. And I'm here to tell you that if you are arrogant, if you are conceited, sooner or later, you're going to meet your downfall. I want you to put this in the comments. Y'all ready? It does not pay to be stuck up. Come on, put it in the comments. Some of y'all about to free somebody. Put it in the comments right now. It does not pay to be stuck up. It does not pay to be stuck up. Put it in the comments right now. It does not pay to be stuck up. Some of y'all need to tell some of your friends this. Some of y'all need to tell some of these folk you dating this. Some of y'all need to tell some of these folks you work with this. Some of you need to tell some of these folk that's got this overinflated sense of self-worth this. It don't pay to be stuck up. Because I'm here to tell you, some folk are walking around here stuck up, and Lord knows this COVID and this mask was the greatest blessing that's come their way in years. And y'all can read between the lines with what I mean. It don't pay to be stuck up. It don't pay. It does not pay to be stuck up. It does not pay to not speak to people when they speak to you. It does not pay to say thank you when people give you a compliment. It does not pay to be kind to people when they speak in good regard to you. It does not pay. And so I'm here to tell you, you've got to be careful with the arrogant, conceited nature of a narcissistic person, because for some reason they have this overinflated sense of self-worth. And every now and then it takes somebody like me to take a pen and bust your head wide open to the white meat. It don't pay to be stuck up. Some of y'all need to be speaking every chance you get. Some of you need to be telling folk who ain't speaking that they need to be speaking every chance they get. Y'all with me? I know I'm gonna get in trouble for that comment right there. Well, Pastor Show is acting arrogant and conceited. No, I'm not. I didn't say I was fine. I didn't say I was cute. I didn't say I thought I was all of that. But what I did say was that I'm self-aware enough to realize that I ain't God's greatest gift in everything. And folk walk around like they God's greatest gift. And this is a classic characteristic of a narcissist, because a narcissist literally thinks that they're God's gifts to everybody. And it is that arrogance and that conceited nature that makes them difficult to deal with. Some of y'all need to start speaking. Some of y'all need to be grateful folk pass you a compliment. Some of you need to be grateful that folk even like your raggedy picture. Characteristic number 3. I'm doing so good. I haven't raised my voice tonight. Characteristic number 3. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? It just don't pay to be stuck up. It just does not pay to be stuck up. Some of y'all need to stop. And while I'm here, not only does it not pay to be stuck up, I really get extra mad when church people are stuck up. Like, how you gonna be saved and claim to know God, but you so conceited and arrogant that you can't even speak to people? Or you know, preachers, you preached at a couple of conventions and got you a couple of $100 offerings, and now all of a sudden you got 5 secretaries and we got to go through 3 armed securities just to speak to you. Or singers, you've done a couple of runs, you can play a few instruments, you might have a few numbers, and now all of a sudden you don't want to deal with people. The devil's stop it. God does not reside in arrogance. Some of the most powerful anointed gifts I know, hear me, are some of the most down-to-earth gifts that I know. And if there is one prayer that I've had, and I feel like I'm going off a tangent, but I feel like I'm still on the tangent. If there is one prayer that I've ever had, and that is, God, keep me grounded. I don't care who compliments me. I don't care who says I do what well. Don't ever let me get so into me that I forget who gave it to me. The greatest gift you can have in this season is the ability to be grounded in who you are. When people compliment you, say folk, and they say, man, you sure did preach, your response shouldn't be, man, I know, man, I tell you, I've been working on them runs and key changes for a long time. Or when folks tell you, church folk, yeah, I tell you, sure did sing today. You shouldn't say, well, I was hoarse. I could have done better, but I was hoarse. If you catch me on another day, I'll give you more. Y'all stop. Stop it, because it's sickening. Stop. In today's climate with social media, everybody think they doing it big. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't control this arrogance and being conceited, God is going to take your high-minded self and help you have several seats. Y'all stop it. Learn how to take compliments. Learn how to realize you're not God's greatest gift. I love it, because when I go places and go church, especially with musicians, I'm retired. I'm not a musician anymore. I can barely get through a hymn or two, and that's the truth. I don't do it anymore. But when I go and I watch young musicians play that are playing circles around me, and there are just musicians that are just doing great things, I love to sit in the corner and just talk about how good they can play and how anointed and gifted that they are. And it's funny because they'd be like, man, but no, Doc, you got it. No, I don't. I ain't got nothing. I'm retired. I ain't got nothing. But I have learned that when you can compliment other people, God will bless you. Watch this. It pays to be able to give a compliment. Put it in the comments. It pays to be able to give a compliment. If you can't compliment nobody, you don't deserve to be gifted. If you can't compliment nobody, you don't deserve to be cute. I pray that God makes you ugly if you can't give other folks compliments on how they look. Y'all don't like this. Y'all don't like it. I pray that God gives you a boil on the front of your forehead if you cannot compliment other people. I pray he puts a boil right between your eyes if you can't tell other folk that they cute. If you can't tell other people that they're attractive. It pays to be able to give a compliment. And when you give a compliment, don't say it like you don't mean it. Say it like you mean it. And when you receive a compliment, don't be arrogant about what you receive. Don't act like people owe you something. It's all right when people are nice, but people don't have to be nice. It pays to be able to give a compliment. It pays to know how to take a compliment. It pays to be able to tell somebody else they look good. It pays to be able to tell somebody else they know how to play. It pays to be able to tell somebody else they can preach. It pays to be able to do that. Y'all stop thinking you so much God's gift that the only people God gifted was you. Stop it. Stop. You ain't so cute that you can't tell somebody else they cute. Let me move on because I feel like staying right here. Yeah, I said a boil. I feel like some of you are stuck on, but I meant what I said. I pray God put a boil right between your eyes if you can't tell other folk that they cute. Stop. Y'all stop. So narcissists do. Characteristic number 3. Is this blessing anybody? This blessing? And I mean this. You stuck up arrogant folk. When folk compliment you, it don't mean they want you. When they tell you you can play, it don't mean they want to play like you. When they tell you look nice, it don't mean they trying to hit. Let people be nice without ill intentions. Everybody don't want you. Because passive narcissism is acting like everybody wants you. Everybody don't want you. No. Let me move on because I feel like I'm about to get in trouble if I stay there. Characteristic number 3. Characteristic number 3. Yes, a boil right here. Can't speak to folk? God, do it right there. Characteristic number 3. You ready? Somebody on Periscope said, Pastor, you can't pray for negative things. I meant it. If you can't compliment other folks, then you don't deserve to be cute. If you can't praise other people, you don't deserve to be cute. Stop it. Y'all stop. Y'all stop. Characteristic number 3. I got to hurry. I ain't got but 15 minutes. Everybody pray for Pastor. Just stretch your arms out and pray for Pastor. All right, you ready? Characteristic number 3 of a narcissist. I got to hurry. They are secretly insecure and openly selfish. Please don't miss this. The narcissist is secretly insecure and openly selfish. This is going to be heavy. Philippians 2, verse 1 through 4. This is going to be real heavy, guys. Philippians 2, verse 1 through 4. The narcissist, characteristic number 3. They are secretly insecure and openly selfish. Secretly insecure and openly selfish. Philippians chapter 2, verse 1 through 4. I'm in the NIV. Watch this. Therefore, Philippians 2, verse 1 through 4, NIV. Therefore, if you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any common sharing in the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. Verse 3, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. Verse 4, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. Let me tell you something about narcissists. Narcissists are the kings and queens of self Overcompensation. Pastor, what is self-overcompensation? These people will come across as being confident, but they struggle to feel the same way inwardly that they feel outwardly. These people come across as being very confident, but inside they struggle. They possess secret feelings of insecurity, secret feelings of shame, secret feelings of being vulnerable, secret feelings when it comes to being humiliated. They are inwardly very insecure, but will give you the projection of being very secure. Now, because of this battle, because on the inside they are one way, on the outside they are another way, this battle between what they project and who they are makes them not happy with themselves. Now, because they are not happy with themselves, are y'all following the logic? I gotta walk this back. Feel like I'm going too fast. Let me walk this all the way back. The narcissist who is secretly insecure and openly selfish. The narcissist, because they are insecure on the inside, but give the projection of confidence on the outside, it makes them unhappy with who they are. They are in conflict. They're showing you one thing, but they really something else. They acting like they're one thing, but deep down inside, there's something else. Because of this tension, they are not happy with themselves. And because they are not happy with themselves, here's the kicker, you can never please them. Because they are not happy with themselves, you can never please them. This is important. When you understand that you can never please them, then you understand that as a result, they'll come across as a my way or no way kind of people. It's crazy. Because they are so insecure inside, because they give across this impression of confidence, but inside they really insecure. Inside they really don't like who they are. Inside they really not satisfied with who they are. There is this constant war between what they project and who they are. And because of that, they are not satisfied with them. And because they ain't satisfied with them, they'll never be satisfied with you. And because they are never satisfied with you, you can never please them. Guess what? You got a narcissist on your hand if you bend over backwards to try to please them and they never satisfied. You have a narcissist on your hand. If you bend over backwards to try to please them, they complain about one thing, you change it. You do that. And when you're doing that, they complain about that. You change it. You do something else. You can doing what else they tell you to do. They complain about that. You change it. So what else? And they can never be pleased. You got a narcissist on your hand. You have a narcissist on your hand. And not only are they people who come across as my way or no way kind of people, watch this. They are serial haters. Narcissists are serial haters. They live, they breathe to be jealous of other people. And they think everybody is jealous of them. They are serial haters. If you compliment a person around a narcissist will say, yeah, they look nice, but if I were them, I wouldn't have wore that skirt. Just let the compliment live. A narcissist always has a but response to compliments, has a but response to other people who do things well, has a but response to other people who deserve praise, because they are always looking for ways to outdo other people. They are serial bona fide haters. I feel like this is too much. They think everybody's jealous of them, but really deep down inside, they're jealous of everybody else. Ain't nothing like being a narcissist. I've had some friends, former friends, who are narcissists, and it's so annoying because instead of letting a compliment breathe, yeah, man, yo, man, such and such, man, did you see what he had on, man? That suit was fire. Yeah, it was all right. That's narcissism. That's what narcissism. Yeah, it was all right. Man, they really sang that song, man. I ain't never heard nobody sing that song. Yeah, it was all right, but I was at a convention the other week and I heard somebody sing the song and they did it 10 times better. Was that really necessary? Was that really necessary? Narcissists can't let a compliment breathe because a narcissist always has to one up other people. And this is a bonus characteristic, but it ties into this. Narcissists are people who live to one up other people. They live to one up other people. Your story, as good as your story is, when y'all sitting around the table and you are around the table with all your friends and y'all talking about good times and you say, oh, let me tell y'all about the time we went on this cruise. And you talk about the time y'all went on the cruise and this happened and everybody at the table busts out laughing. The narcissist is going to laugh, ha, ha, ha. The narcissist going to be like, but hey, oh, that was funny, but let me tell y'all about what happened to me. They live to one up people because they serial haters. They are people on a serial basis who live to try to be better than everybody else. Y'all with me? And so when you dating folks like this, you'll never please them. When you dating folks like this, you will be in competition with them instead of being in communion with them. Ooh, did you hear what I said? You'll be in competition with them instead of being in communion with them because you'll always be competing with them. They are serial haters. They are serial jealous folks, and they think everybody jealous of them. All right? Characteristic number 4. Is this blessing somebody? Characteristic number 4. I'm hurrying. Characteristic number 4. The 4th characteristic of the narcissist is this. When they are really offended, their behavior becomes passive aggressive. I could spend an hour on this one. When the narcissist is really offended, their behavior becomes passive aggressive. Man, I can't wait to put this one in the book. When the narcissist is really offended, their behavior becomes passive aggressive. When the narcissist is really offended, their behavior becomes passive aggressive. Now, this is powerful. Look at this. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31 through 33. I'm in the NIV. Proverbs 15, verse 31 through 33, and I'm in the NIV. Look at this. Verse 31. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Verse 32. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Verse 33. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. Watch this. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you got to understand that they struggle and refuse to recognize the needs and feelings of other people. The narcissist refuses to recognize the needs and feelings of other people. And because of this struggle to recognize other people's needs, this struggle to recognize other people's feelings, this struggle to recognize other people's desires and interests, this struggle makes it difficult for them to handle criticism. It makes it difficult for them to handle an opinion that is different than their own. And because of this, and it don't matter how you deliver it, because I hear you. Well, even if I deliver it nice, Pastor, yes. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you can be as nice and as gentle as you want to. But because a narcissist struggles to handle criticism, that they will never be able to hear anything that you have to say to them. And this is because they have no inner peace. On the inside, they have no inner peace. And when you don't have inner peace, you are quick to get offended. You are quick to feel slighted. You are quick to feel like somebody's doing you wrong. You are quick to feel like somebody's against you. And if there is ever one characteristic of a narcissist, and that is because they don't recognize other people's feelings, when you disagree with them, they feel like you are against them. Watch this. You don't know you got a narcissist on your hand when you don't disagree with something they say, or you don't agree with something that they do, or you don't agree with an idea that they have, and it ain't personal with you. You just don't agree. You see it a different way, and you do it in an agreeable way. You agreeably disagree. But when you disagree with them, they get attitudinal. They get quiet. Watch this. When you offend a narcissist, they get withdrawn. They get quiet. They're one of those people who pick up their ball and go home. Oh, y'all don't want to play with my ball. Y'all don't want to do my idea. I don't even want to be in the group. Y'all don't want to do it the way I do it. Then don't ask me for no ideas. Don't ask me for no suggestions. Oh, y'all don't want to listen to my idea or my suggestion. Then don't invite me to the next meeting. Oh, y'all don't want to listen to what I think. Then we can't be together. No. Narcissists are so self-centered, and they become withdrawn, quiet, petty, defensive when they are offended. And you got to be careful, because that passive aggressive nature of who they are makes them very difficult to digest. You offend them, now they mad. They quiet for hours. You don't even know you ain't even know you offended them. You ain't even know that you said something that was disagreeable to them. But because they didn't like what you said, and because they are struggling inside with who they are, they become withdrawn. They don't even want to deal with you. They ain't answering your phone calls. They don't want to be around you. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. Now all of a sudden they too busy for dinner. Now all of a sudden they too busy to hang out. Now all of a sudden they too busy to return your calls. And that passive aggressive nature of who they are is showing you that they are a narcissist. Because the way a narcissist deals with being offended, especially when a narcissist knows they can't beat you, when a narcissist knows that they can't credibly defend who they are and credibly defend how they believe, the best way they know how to deal with it is to become withdrawn and to get offended and get in their feelings. A narcissist will live in their feelings. Put it in the comments. I ain't had y'all typing a lot tonight, but you gonna type and say this. Put it in the comments right now. Please get out of your feelings. When you are dealing with a narcissist lives in their feelings. Please get out of your feelings. A narcissist lives in their feelings. When you offend a narcissist, when something doesn't go a narcissist's way, and these folks are very slippery too. When a narcissist doesn't get what they want, when a narcissist, things don't go a narcissist's way, they live in their feelings. They quit calling you back. They quit texting you. They quit responding to you. They quit hanging out with you. They quit wanting to hang out with you. They quit wanting to do dinner with you. They quit even wanting to be with you. And it's because they're in their feelings. Please get out of your feelings. That passive aggressive nature of a narcissist is what can take a very attractive person and make them very ugly. There is no more of an ugly look than a passive aggressive behavior. Nothing makes you look more ugly than passive aggressive behavior. When you don't get your way, you quiet. When folk don't want to do your idea at work, and your coworkers don't want to go with another idea instead of yours, and now all of a sudden you ain't responding to no emails, and now all of a sudden you quiet on all the meetings. That passive aggressive behavior is a horrible look, and you're a narcissist. Stop it. Everything don't have to go your way. Everything don't have to go the way you planned it. Stop it. All right. Fifth characteristic of a narcissist, and I'm done. Pastor's done pretty well on time tonight. I'm trying to be mindful. This is very hard because there's really many of these things I want to just deal with a lot. Many of them. But characteristic number 5 of a narcissist. But y'all better get out your feelings. Stop being offended. Some of y'all are offended by people and people don't even know they offended you. Did you hear what I said? Some of you are offended by people and the people don't even know they offended you. They don't even know they offended you. And you walking around mad, and you walking around quiet, and you walking around not saying nothing, and you walking around not returning calls and texts, and you walking around disappearing for months, and folk don't even know what's wrong with you. And it's because you're a narcissist. Stop it. If people have offended you, be bold enough and be respectful enough and be honorable enough to tell people how they've offended you, instead of being passive aggressive because you don't want to deal with it, or passive aggressive because you don't want to address it and taking your little ball and running home because you're mad. Y'all stop. Stop it. Characteristic number 5, and I'm done. 5th characteristic of the narcissist. I hope this is making plenty of sense tonight. 5th characteristic of the narcissist is this. Their unrealistic expectations of others makes them very moody and controlling. Their unrealistic expectations of others makes them very moody and controlling. Their unrealistic expectations of others makes them very moody and controlling. Their unrealistic expectations of others makes them very moody and controlling. I'm in James chapter 1, verse 19 through 20, NIV. Get it quickly. James chapter 1, verse 19 through 20. Yes, narcissists are very moody. Narcissists are very controlling. I feel like this was too heavy for y'all tonight. Narcissists are very moody. Narcissists are very controlling. Watch this. James chapter 1, verse 19 through 20. You ready? NIV says this, verse 19. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger, verse 20, does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Listen to me. Their unrealistic expectations of others really reflects their dissatisfaction with themselves. I'm going to say it again. Their unrealistic expectations, unreasonable expectations of others is really a reflection of their dissatisfaction with themselves. Because they are so dissatisfied with themselves, they become very unrealistic in what they expect from other people. And because they are very unrealistic about what they expect from other people, you will not only be able to not please them, but they'll be very moody. This makes them very moody. This makes them very controlling. This makes them quick to want to correct you and not want to hear you. This makes them quick to want to try to jump down your throat, but not understand you. This is important. These expectations make it difficult for them to regulate their emotions and their behavior. These expectations make it very difficult for them to regulate their emotions and their behavior. So they'll be all over the place. One day, you'll be able to please them and satisfy them, and they'll be happy. Literally hours later, they'll be treating you like you just cussed them out. Their moods are very up and down. Very up and down. Almost bipolar in nature. Very up and down. And it's because their emotions internally, their expectations are all over the place. They're not pleased with who they are. And because they're not pleased with who they are, they set unrealistic expectations for you. And those unrealistic expectations for you make it impossible for you to please them. It makes it impossible for you to be able to get through to them. They will have you questioning who you are because they don't like who they are. Y'all better catch this Instagram. I'm going to lose you in 20 seconds. I want you to come back in, but I'm going to say this again. They will have you questioning who you are because they don't like who they are. A narcissist will have you questioning who you are because they don't like who they are. They will be so unsatisfied with who they are that they will have you walking around on eggshells about who you are because they ain't really pleased with who they are. These are dangerous people because when you listen to them, if you listen to them, and if your behavior is governed by who they are, if your behavior is governed by who they are and how they function, you will be walking around living your life on a roller coaster, trying to please people who have unrealistic expectations of who you are because they don't like who they are. They will have you questioning who they are because they don't even like who they are. And some of you, I hate to break this news to you, Let me get some water here because I ain't had some water in a minute. Some of you, I hate to break this news to you, but some of you, and I hate to break this news again, this is going to make some of you upset. Sometimes the truth hurts. Either the truth going to set you free or make you mad. But some of you, I hate to break the news to you, but some of you have made adjustments in your life for people who don't even like who they are. Some of you have made life adjustments and adjustments in your life, in your behavior, in your approach to work, in your approach to living, in your family, and whatever. Some of you have made all of these adjustments for some folks who don't even like who they are. And I'm here to tell you, when you get in the business of making adjustments for people who don't even like who they are, then you get into the business of trying to please people who don't like who they are. Never put this in the comments and be free tonight. Never make adjustments for people who don't like who they are. Never, ever make adjustments for people who don't even like who they are. A narcissist will expect you to make adjustments for them, and they don't even like who they are themselves. Never, ever, 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 ever make adjustments for people who don't even like who they are. You wasting time. You wasting your energy. You wasting, and you got to be careful here, because narcissists will play you like this. Narcissists will describe their expectations as a desire to be perfectionist. Oh, I got these high expectations because, I'm a perfectionist. I like for things to be perfect. I like for everything to be lined up, and things have to just be perfect. And they try to hide their unrealistic expectations behind this guise of perfectionism. I just want to be perfect. I want everything to be right. Let me tell you something. When you don't meet the expectations of a narcissist, listen, thank you, Lord. When you don't meet the expectations of a perfectionist will teach you and make adjustments so you can get better. When you don't meet, some of y'all better hear this and get free tonight. When you don't meet the expectations of a perfectionist can coach you through your imperfections, make adjustments so that you can grow and be better. When you don't meet the expectations of a narcissist gets mad. Did y'all hear what I said? When you don't meet the expectations of a perfectionist, they're going to help coach you to make the adjustments so that you can strive towards that perfection. When you don't meet the expectations of a narcissist, they're going to get mad. When you don't do what a narcissist wants you to do, they're going to get mad. When you don't meet their expectations and standards, they're going to get mad. They're going to quit calling you. They're going to quit talking to you. They're going to quit responding to you. They're going to quit planning the all-girls trip with you. I'm here to tell you, this is in friendships, relationships, or any other kind of ship you in. When you don't meet the expectations of a narcissist, they can say, oh, I just want to be perfect. All they want to. Nah. When you're a perfectionist and you strive for perfection and you want perfection around people around you, you teach people how to be better. I want my kids to get the junk off the floor, but I don't get mad when they leave it on the floor. Well, I get briefly mad when they put stuff on the floor, but I don't walk around for hours mad because they put stuff on the floor. What I do is I teach them how to clean up their space. Because yeah, I can be a perfectionist, but my job as a perfectionist is to make you better. If you're a narcissist, you get mad. And I'm here to tell you, when you don't meet the expectations of a narcissist, they're going to get angry with you. They're going to get mad at you. And the reason they get mad is because while you didn't meet their unrealistic expectations, deep down inside, they really ain't pleased with who they are. When you don't meet their expectations, they get angry. And as a result, they'll belittle you in an effort to try to make themselves look better. They'll belittle you in an effort to try to make themselves feel better. They'll belittle you in an effort to try to make themselves look wonderful. One of the most glaring traits of a narcissist is verbal abuse. And I ain't got time to deal with this. I gotta close. But a glaring trait of a narcissist is verbal abuse. Verbal abuse. They will beat you down verbally when you don't meet their expectations, when you don't do the things that they want you to do, when you don't meet the standards that they want you to meet. They will literally beat you down, and they can become very verbally abusive. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to stay away from people whose response to not getting their way is to make you feel some kind of way. Whose response to not getting their way is to belittle you and to belittle what you represent and to belittle the standards that you have. Some folk ain't mad at you. They just mad that they don't have the standards you have. Some people ain't mad at you. They just mad they don't have the quality that you have. Some people ain't mad at you. They just mad that you can't be easily swayed like they can. And this is what a narcissist does. They'll belittle you in an effort to make themselves look better, to make themselves feel better. And this can even be emotional or verbal abuse. And you gotta be careful. Did this bless anybody tonight? Look at the time, 8:17, and I'm finished. I can't believe it. Did this bless anybody tonight? Did this bless anybody? Listen, Pastor, I want to pray for you tonight. If this bless you, I want you to fill it up with hearts on whatever medium that you're on, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope. I want you to fill it up with hearts. If this was a blessing to you tonight, hit that heart button as many times as it blessed you. I want you to hit it and fill it up tonight because I believe that this was a powerful word. Listen, I want to pray for you. Let's pray. It's prayer time. If you've ever tuned in into the rehab virtual experience, you know that we always pray at this portion of the experience. And so if you've got a prayer request, I get up every morning, 5:03, 5:15 at the latest. I get up, I pray over your prayer request. And so whatever it is that you want me to pray for, I want you to put it in the prayer request right now. I want you to drop it in the comments, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Periscope. I want you to drop your prayer request in the comments right now so that I can pray for you and your situation. If it is something that we can all read, if it is something that is confidential, feel free to email your prayer request with the subject line prayer request. Feel free to email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. But if you have a prayer request, I want you to drop it in the comments right now. Come on, I want to see it in the comments right now because we're getting ready to touch and agree over your prayer request. Whatever it is that you want me to pray for, we're getting ready to touch and agree right now over your prayer request. And I want you to drop the prayer request in the comments right now so that I can see your prayer request, so that I can read some of your prayer requests as we prepare to pray. Come on, any prayer requests tonight, anything you want me to pray for tonight as we prepare to touch and agree, I want you to drop it in the comments tonight. Because I most certainly want to pray for you. I want to pray for your family. Again, thank you so much. I'm praying for your family members, those people in your family that are sick, that are dealing with tragedies in this season. Certainly praying. Thank you so much. Praying for your aunt, praying that she gets better. Praying for your health. Thank you. Those of you that have health issues and health conditions, I want to pray for your health, especially in this COVID season, especially with the announcements about schools returning and being open and some being closed. Certainly praying for all of your health, returning to work, if you're staying home, whatever your situation is, your family, your friends. Yes, praying for that. Praying for Sister Carissa Martin. Thank you so much, Mother Doris. I really appreciate that. I'm praying for safety, praying for your children. Thank you, your brothers and sisters, your grandchildren, your pastor and family. Rehab, of course, we're praying for the state of the world, all bereaved families. Certainly praying for those of you that have experienced losses. Sister Crystal and Sister Michelle and Brother Sean and Brother Vincent and Brother Sean and Brother Vincent and losing their mother. Certainly praying for you. Really good family friends of ours. Wisdom and guidance. Healthy pregnancy. Yes, those of you that are expecting, praying that God gives you healthy delivery. Your children, your career change. Yes, many people are going through career changes right now during this COVID season. Many people are starting businesses. Many people are changing jobs. I'm praying that God gives you the wisdom through your career change to make great decisions and the transition smooth. Your health, again, I see it coming. Renewed mind, guidance, protection for all of our Black sons and daughters, without a doubt. I'm praying for that, praying for the wisdom and direction, for provision, financial release for your family, for your loved ones, especially those of you that give, that sow and give. I believe the Bible says he gives seed to the sower. And so as you give, I believe God gives back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together and running over. So certainly praying for wisdom, direction, provision, financial release for all of you, your family, custody battles. Somebody's in a custody battle with a narcissist. I am certainly praying for you that God gives you favor through the court system. Praying for your businesses, those of you that have businesses, Black-owned businesses, especially in this season, that God would allow this season of social justice and unrest that we're in to flourish your business in a special way. The world all around us, continued growth in God. I'm praying for all of these things. Listen, would you do me a favor? Would you clasp your hands like this as a sign of faith? If you're tuned in right now, would you clasp your hands as a sign of faith? If you are near somebody, you can reach out and connect hands with them and grab hands with them. If you are by yourself, I want you to clasp your hands like this as a sign of faith, because I want to pray for all of these things that have come across the line: closer to God, finances, the world, peace, your business, your career endeavors. I want to pray for all of these things. So clasp your hands just like this as a sign of faith tonight, as we prepare to pray for all of these prayer requests that have come in, those prayer requests that have been emailed to us that we cannot see, that God would meet those needs. Are your hands clasped? Are you ready? Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for this word. Thank you for this time of sharing that you've given us. God, I pray first and foremost that you are glorified tonight, that something was said, something was done, that has encouraged your people, that has inspired your people to live for you, to make better decisions concerning those arrogant, conceited people that we're connected to. That, God, we would not allow the prideful nature of the narcissist to overtake us, but that, God, we would recognize the beauty of the value of who we are and be everything that you called us to be. God, be glorified tonight through this word. And God, I pray this word has empowered somebody to reevaluate themselves and others around them so that they can be the best version of them that they have been called to be. And so that everything surrounded to them, everything that they're surrounded by, everybody that surrounds them can be the best version that supports who they are. God, I pray for every special prayer request that has come across this line tonight. Every request, from family to finances to career to homes to safe pregnancies to shifting careers to job losses, health situation, whatever the condition is. God, you've seen the prayer requests. God, many of the prayer requests we've spoken. And so tonight, God, we touch and agree as a sign of faith, as believers, that you're going to answer these prayers, that you're going to make a way, that you're going to open up doors, that you are going to meet needs in a special, special way. And so, God, meet the needs of your people. God, I pray that you would answer those requests, and not that only that you would answer those requests, but that, God, as you continue to grow us, as you continue to mature us, that, God, you would even shift the things that we pray for, that you would shift the things that we desire so that our needs and our desires align with your will for our lives. God, I bless you, because this will be a week filled with answer prayers. This will be a week filled with made ways. This will be a week filled with open doors and met needs and granted heart's desires. That, God, literally you're going to open the windows of heaven, and that you're going to pour us all out a blessing that we won't have room to receive. God, we thank you for these things and count them done in Jesus' name. Amen. Listen, you prayed tonight. If you prayed with me, I want you to put it in the comments right now. It is so. It is so. Yes, I'm praying for your anxiety. I'm praying for your healing. I'm praying for your health. I'm praying for your well-being. If you have been bereaved, if you've lost loved ones, I'm praying for you on this week like never before. Come on, put it in the comments right now. It is so. If you prayed that prayer request, put it in the comments. It is so. We believe that it is so. It is so as another way of another way of saying amen. And so if you said amen, that's perfectly fine too. But I want you to put it in the comments right now. It is so. I believe God's going to answer those prayers. I believe God's going to make a way. Listen, while you're typing that, if there's anybody that wants to be saved tonight, if there's anybody that wants to dedicate their life to Christ, if anybody heard this word tonight and they want to commit their lives to Christ, I want to open up the proverbial virtual doors of the church for you to dedicate your life to Christ. There is no better time than right now to be saved. With all of the uncertainty around the world, with everything that's going on with this virus and sickness and in our politics and in our government, in our societies as a whole, there is no better time than now than to commit your life to Christ. Listen, you don't have to be perfect to be saved. You don't have to be perfect to want to be saved. What you have to do is understand Romans 10:9, that if you confess with your mouth that you are a sinner, believe in your heart that Jesus Christ lived, died, and rose again for your sins, that not only will he forgive your sins, but that you are saved. You have a right to the tree of life because of everything that Christ did for you. Listen, if you want to be saved, I literally want you to stop what you're doing. I don't care if you're driving. If you're driving, pull over. If you've got a room full of people and you need to pull away, go in the bathroom, shut the door. But I want you to get to a quiet space if you want to be saved, because I have a declaration that I need you to repeat after me. And God wants to give you salvation right now. Listen, if you're tuned into this broadcast, this ain't the time for you to leave. If you are tuned into this broadcast and you are a believer, I want you to touch and agree with me right now. And I need you to be praying as we are working with those people that desire to be saved tonight. I need you to touch and agree and be praying that God sends salvation to somebody tonight. Listen, if you want to be saved, I want you to repeat these words after me. Are you ready? Repeat these words after me. I am a sinner. I'm not perfect. I have some flaws and failures. But I also believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, lived on this earth just like me. He suffered, he bled, and he died on the cross for my sins. But 3 days later, rose again. And because he lives, not only can I live, but I am forgiving and I am saved. Listen, my friends, if you prayed that prayer, I want to personally welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. There's no better family to be in than the family of Jesus Christ. If you prayed that prayer, I want to welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ, and now encourage you to find a church home somewhere where God can now shift you from not just being saved, but having an Acts 2:38 testimony where he changes your language and fills you with the precious gift of the Holy Ghost. I believe in the power of Acts 2:38. And the way that happens is when we assemble ourselves around other believers. Listen, I don't care where you are, Atlanta, Florida, California, France, Germany, Russia, doesn't matter where you are. I want you to find a Bible-believing church, a preacher that teaches the word of God in truth, but also in grace, in a way that you can understand it. I want you to find that church that's near you, and I want you to put your hand in that preacher's hand, or in today's time, I want you to elbow that preacher with your mask on, and I want you to dedicate your membership to that church, so that you have a local assembly of believers that you can continue to learn from, that you continue to grow around. If you don't have a church home, maybe you're in the Triad area and you're looking for a church home and you are you enjoy the ministry that is the Rehab Christian Center, I would love to be your pastor, whether virtually or even face-to-face whenever we get back into the building. Don't know when that's going to be now. Don't know when we're going to get back into the building, but I would love to be your pastor and love to serve as your spiritual leader. Rehab is not a perfect church, but it is the perfect place for imperfect people. And so if you're looking for a church home, you should see moderators on the screen, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or Periscope. If you're looking for a church home, just simply like their comment and they will get you some information. And we would love to welcome you to the Rehab Christian Center family. I'm here to tell you, I absolutely love my church. Not a big church, all 175, 200 of us, not a very big church at all. But I'm very grateful for the people that God has sent to the Rehab Christian Center because we got one thing in common. All of us are crazy. All of us have falls and failures, but all of us serve a very real God that is able to deliver us from all of them. And so just simply like those comments or that comment from the moderator on your platform, and they certainly will get you more information. And we would love to welcome you to the Rehab Christian Center. Listen, it's giving time. I'm going to challenge all of you to give quickly. If this message has been a blessing to you, if this broadcast has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you quickly to give and be a blessing to this ministry in a special way. Let me first say thank you to our members, and certainly to our visitors who have now become like family, and virtual members who have given so faithfully during this COVID season. I want to personally thank you for how you've given tithes, how you've given offering as expenses for the church continues to live on. I'm grateful for your gift, and I certainly pray that God has continued to bless you as a result of your giving. I'm here to tell you that when you give to Rehab, you're giving to good ground. You're giving to a church that believes in pouring back into the community. You're giving to a church that in less than 7 years, we're going to turn 7 years old during COVID season in a couple of weeks. And it's just so sad because I really want to be in the building, and I really hate that. But you're giving to a ministry who has in less than 7 years, 2 weeks from 7 years, blessed, fed and clothed over 20,000 people. And we've been able to do it because of your giving. We've been able to give it because of tithing and offering. And so I want to challenge you tonight to give. If this message has been a blessing to you, there are 3 ways you can give. Number one, you can give via Cash App at $RehabCC give. That's $RehabCC give. Just simply grab your cell phone, your iPad, or whatever medium that you have Cash App, and go to $RehabCC give. And right there, you can give your tithes and your offering. You can give online through our website at www.rehabcc.org. That's www.rehabcc.org. Right from our website, you can give from that medium there, and just simply look for the donate button and follow the prompts. Or you can give from your cell phone. You can give from your cell phone. If you don't want to get off the couch and find all of these things, you can just simply go to your cell phone and text Rehab Works to 88202. If you text Rehab Works to 88202 right to your cell phone, you will receive instructions on how you can give. Just simply follow the prompts, and you can give right from your cell phone. Again, there are 3 ways you can be a blessing tonight. Cash App at $RehabCC give. That's Cash App at $RehabCC give. And I realize many of you are going to be catching this replay. And so even if you're watching this replay later on tonight or later on in the week, I want to encourage you, if this ministry has been a blessing to you in any kind of way, I want to encourage you to give. And I promise you, God will bless you in a special way. Again, 3 ways you can give via cash. Way number 1 is via Cash App at $RehabCC give. That's $RehabCC give. Or you can give through our website at www.rehabcc.org. Again, that's www.rehabcc.org. Or finally, you can give through your cell phone by simply texting the word Rehab Works to 88202. You text the word Rehab Works to 88202 right to your cell phone. You follow the prompts, and you can give that way. Listen, I'm absolutely done tonight. We finished in literally an hour and 20 minutes. It's the fastest we've finished in a very long time. And it is not because I ran out of word. I simply ran out of time. And I want to try my best to be so much more mindful of your time on Tuesdays and even Sundays. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight on this lesson about the narcissist. Wow, how powerful was this tonight? And these very candid characteristics that we learn and that we study. And so I encourage all of you to go back and watch the replay. Go back and get the notes again, but also to be very prayerful and guarded about the people that you allow into your life. And I promise you, God will bless you. Listen, tune in Sunday. I want to see you Sunday, 9:08 a.m. sharp. We're going to be right back here for our virtual experience on Sunday morning, 9:08 a.m. sharp for our virtual Sunday morning virtual experience. And I want to see you in the building. I want to see you in the virtual building on Sunday on time. And I believe that God is going to bless us with a powerful, powerful word. All right, I'm done. I love you. I'm praying for you. I want you to have a phenomenal week. Certainly pray for me. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of days. Listen, be safe this week. Wear your mask. Stop being nasty. Wash your hands. Keep your distance. Get out of people's personal space, and let's do what we can to fight this virus so that we can return to our normal very soon. All right. I love you. I'm praying for you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center Live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.